It's an honor to be here with everyone. Thank you for braving the minus 10 degree, whatever it is, weather out there today. My name's Dave Sunday, and I'm the Pennsylvania Attorney General. And so it's an honor to be here with you. This is theft. Well, actually, can you go forward one, if you could, real quick? Hunter, where's she at? Where did she leave? So this is, I apologize for that. Don't judge me based on that. Okay, so this is Identity Theft Awareness Week. And so our office, in the Attorney General's office, we do tons of work with identity theft that we're going to talk about. And so we decided to go around Pennsylvania to the extent we could and give presentations on senior scams and how to avoid getting ripped off. So hopefully that's why you're here. And you know, we're going to go ahead and so how this is going to work today is I, as the Attorney General, I'm going to give you guys an introduction. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this. And then we have an expert from the office that goes all over Pennsylvania. And all he does for a job, pretty much, is teach people how to avoid being scammed. And his name's David Shellcross, and he is over there. You want to give a wave? And so he is an expert in this. He's figured out the most important ways to communicate to you how to avoid getting ripped off. He's very, very good at it. And so we're here today to give you this very, very important information. So before we get started, I want to talk a little bit, just so you know who I am. I am the Attorney General. In Pennsylvania, we have 67 counties, and each county has its own district attorney. And then there's an Attorney General that does a lot of the same work, but also does a lot more. That I'm going to tell you about that very quickly, just so you kind of understand why we're the ones giving this presentation. So I actually grew up in central Pennsylvania, specifically in the Harrisburg area. When I was a very young man, obviously I'm still a young man, even though I just signed my AARP card in June, which was, I will tell you very quickly, when I did turn 50 and I signed my AARP card, the very first call I got was from my mom, who's 81, and the first thing out of her mouth was, "David," she said, "do you know you get discounts on lenses? You got to look, you know." And I was, at the time, I was like, whatever. I went back and looked, and sure enough, I took advantage of that discount. So it is what it is. But I grew up, I joined the Navy when I was 18. You know, when I was a young man, I was deployed all over the world in the military. I came back when I was about 22 after 4 years of active duty service. I was in the Persian Gulf. I was in South America. I was all over. And I started working at UPS. And so I worked at UPS for 8 years, all through college and law school. And then after law school, I met my wife, and we have a young son. I became a prosecutor right away. And so I was a prosecutor in York County, Pennsylvania. I also was a special assistant United States attorney, where we did federal prosecutions. And then I was elected the district attorney in York, and then I was elected the Attorney General. And so my career has been serving and protecting the public, and so that's why we're here today. So the Attorney General's office is a very big office. We have a few different sections in the office. So we have the criminal division, where we do a lot of prosecutions. And at the same time, one of the most important things that we've done recently is we created an elder exploitation section within that division. And the purpose of that is to identify, investigate, and prosecute people that are stealing money from seniors, and in particular looking to people who are closely affiliated with the senior. So for example, it might be a loved one, it might be someone that someone's paying to take care of their property for them and their money, and sometimes those people turn bad and do things with that money that they're not supposed to. And so we look into those cases to make sure that we hold those individuals accountable. And just by way of background, I will tell you, and you guys are lucky because, you know, I was pent up in a car for 2 hours coming here, and so I'm pretty fired up, and I know David just wakes up fired up every day, so he's ready to go. And so we're going to, you know, give you the full treatment. So I will tell you that I want to share with you very quickly the first case I ever saw as a prosecutor where I understood like how nefarious some people are that want to steal money from seniors. And so I was a prosecutor in the York DA's office, and there was a gentleman who lived in York County. I'm not going to obviously divulge any names or anything. And one day someone came up and they knocked on his door, and he opened the door and they said, "Hello, sir, my name's whatever, and I would like to reseal your driveway." And he said, "Well, okay, that sounds great. I would love for you to do that. Here's the money." He wrote a check. The person, what we found out later, dumped basically like dirty water on his driveway. They didn't even like reseal it, and they left. Okay, we're not at, I mean, that's not good, but we're not even at the bad part yet. The very next day, "Hello, sir, I'm so-and-so. I notice your driveway needs to be resealed." And the gentleman had dementia and he had Alzheimer's. And so he didn't even remember the previous times. And this guy came back and did this, I think, like around 15 times. And he wrote check after check after check after check. And the way that this was discovered, and this is probably about 12 years ago I did this case, the way it was discovered was that his son, the victim's son, was going through dad's checkbook, which is something that they did regularly, and he saw these checks that were written in there, and obviously he's like, "What is going on here? Who is this person?" And so he called the police, and then the police started an investigation. But the problem was that, you know, when you prosecute someone, you have to have, what do you have to have? You have to have a witness, right? You can't just accuse someone, like you have to have a witness. And so the main witness in this case was the victim. And can anyone understand like why that wasn't good for the prosecution? Because he didn't remember. And so he wasn't competent to testify. So what we had to do was we had to find someone. Now, I will tell you, I love this story because the type of witness that saw this helped me throughout my career, and some of the best witnesses I ever saw. Can anyone guess who may have helped us in this case and who some of the best witnesses the prosecution can ever ask for are? Anyone? The nosy neighbor. That's exactly who it was. And she sat there, and we found her, and she said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I did see that." And she went over and she said, "And I wrote down the license plate number, and I watched every day as this person came and gone. I watched exactly what they did. I can describe them to you, and yes, I would be more than happy to testify in court." And so she did. She went into court, and she said, "That was him. He did it. I saw him do it. He came and went. He didn't do anything in that driveway," and the jury convicted him. And so that was the first kind of case like that I was involved with. That was the first case like that I was involved with as a prosecutor, and it really highlighted for me how bad these people can be. So that being said, turning now to the task at hand. So in the Attorney General's office, we have a Bureau of Consumer Protection scam team, and they take on hundreds of cases every single week from Pennsylvanians who have been scammed. Every single week. So what happens is people call in, they take the cases, and they work on it. They're working to maintain affordability for Pennsylvanians, and our office, you'll see OAG on here a lot, that's Office of Attorney General. We led initiatives to combat hidden junk fees, unwanted robocalls, which I know everyone loves, and negative option subscriptions. And so we have the Bureau of Consumer Protection scam team. You're going to hear a lot more about them. I'm giving you sort of a general overview. Last year, our Bureau of Consumer Protection fielded more than 4,000 complaints from Pennsylvanians who had been scammed. And you need to understand that's the tip of the iceberg, because very few people even want to talk about the fact that they were scammed, let alone are willing to call in. And I want to take a minute and tell you, well, actually, I'll finish this slide first. So Pennsylvanians lost $76 million in scams last year, again, that we knew of. And so for just about every dollar, scammers' victims allowed access to personal information. So, and I want to say before I forget really quick, it is an absolute honor to be here. And is Carla here somewhere? Carla? Hi, Carla. Carla, thank you so much for setting this up. Thank you to the JCC. I appreciate you. This is fantastic and awesome. And I just had a note to myself because I didn't want to forget doing that, because we couldn't bring people together like this if organizations like yours aren't willing to step up and make it happen. So thank you so very much. Okay, so we're going to go to the next slide here. So how are scammers successful? And again, we're going to go into detail on these, and so we're going to go through these in specific ways. Modern technology has empowered criminals. Scams are more sophisticated than ever, and part of the reason for that is artificial intelligence. And so there's amazing, wonderful things that happen with technology. Okay, amazing things. It's fantastic. I love it. However, just like any other tool, if you have a bad guy, they may want to use that for their own personal gain, and that happens all the time. And so I always say that protecting citizens is not mutually exclusive from advancing technology and innovation. Now, I just want to say this is really important. I want to take a minute here. So I have my father's 83, my mom's 81, and I talk to them every day about what we're talking about today. And there's a couple very simple things at the end of this, no matter what you take away from this. And David, I know he'll reinforce this. But one of the main things I want you to always remember is you can always get help. And people get scammed all day, every day, from morning till night. It never stops. And so if you think, oh man, I'm embarrassed, I don't want anyone to know this happened, I want you to know that I bet there are people in here who have had this happen to. It happens every day. And the worst thing you can do is think, I don't want to tell someone. You should tell someone, because our scam teams and a lot of others can instantly move into action and do what they can to help you. The second thing is, I can tell by looking at everyone, we have a whole room of amazing, nice, wonderful people. I want you to know it is okay to be a jerk and not answer the phone when random people call you. I promise you they will not get upset. There are small countries in this world whose gross domestic product comes from scamming seniors. And I promise you, because I dealt with this with my mom. She's like, well, I don't know, it could be so-and-so from high school. I'm like, Mom, it's not. I'm like, they'll leave a message. There's this magic thing called voicemail. And so if it's, whoever from high school that you haven't talked to in, 40 years, like, she's going to leave a message. I promise you. So if anyone calls you, remember, it's okay to just let it go to voicemail. In fact, I would let it go to voicemail regardless, because these people are really good, they're really effective, and they get you on the phone. Next thing you know, you're sending someone money. Let it go to voicemail, 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 voicemail. Okay, moving on. So, 5 most common scams, and David's going to go into these in greater detail. Scams called phishing scams, government imposter scams, loan modification scams, business scams, and tech support scams. The commonality with every scam that exists is they want your information. They want your personal information. Well, they want your money, but they want your personal information, your social security number, your date of birth. All these scams are just different tools that bad guys use to get your information. And so if you always know, if you think, are they trying to get my information, that immediately should put you in a position where you say, click, meaning hang up the phone, or don't click on the email, whatever that is. Think to yourself, there is no emergency. I can always wait. I don't have to click on anything. I can hang up the phone. Just stop, because they try to get you to move fast, because all of these want your information. So the top methods that the money is transferred: wire transfers, Bitcoin, gift cards, credit cards, and cash. So the takeaway from this is as follows. How many times in a normal course of your day does someone say to you, hey, this is great, I'm glad we came to this agreement. Here's the problem, though. I can only take a wire transfer, right? If that happens, walk away. Okay, that's a scam. Another one, Bitcoin and crypto. I talked to someone recently whose mother fell victim to a Bitcoin and crypto scam. And sure enough, it was one of those things where it was like, listen, I know that you don't understand what Bitcoin and crypto is. However, that's the only way I can get paid. Guess what? Goodbye. You don't want to deal with it. Gift cards, another one. I love gift cards. We all give them as gifts. They're gift cards, right? We give them, I receive them. No one has ever asked me to pay them in gift cards. So if someone ever says to you, person, I need you to go get 1,000 gift cards and then pay me with gift cards because that's the only way I can be paid. Garbage, not happening. All right? Credit cards are wonderful things because most credit cards, and David will go into this, can be very helpful in these circumstances. So with that being said, stand up for yourself. As few as 1 in 44 incidents are reported, and David's going to give you all the information. I promise you, when you leave here today, you will know exactly who to call. You will have that information in hand. Make sure you do it. We've all been targeted. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Speak up. Report a potential scam right away. If you're contacted unexpectedly, be cautious and consider ending the communication immediately. I want to tell you that so in America, we have a lot of seniors, right? And in Pennsylvania, I think we have the second or third highest amount of seniors in the entire country. So that means we are a target for bad guys. And we have a lot of people on fixed income. You happen to be a very kind and nice generation where you want to help people. And so because of that, people will want to take advantage. And I just, every time when I was the elected DA, long before I was AG, I used to do these presentations all the time. And I always told people, I don't care if you're 20, if you're 80, if you're 120, it is your money. You earned it. It is yours. It is no one else's. You can do whatever you want with it. If you want to be like Scrooge McDuck and throw it into the fire all day long, it's yours. And no one has a right to take what is yours. No one. And so I want you guys to remember that as you go through life. And God willing, all of us will someday be whatever, someday we'll be 100, I don't know. And so, no one deserves to have this happen to you. And you have as many rights, and you have people that want to fight to protect you every single day. It is our job, okay? So make sure that you use the resources that are available. We have our elder exploitation section, which I referenced earlier, which we just launched this year because we saw an opportunity to really be helpful there, focusing on the financial exploitation of older Pennsylvanians. The legislature gave us the power to prosecute offenders. We have Representative Pugh here somewhere. There she is in the back. Thank you for all your support. I can't do my job without people that are willing to give us the laws to do it, because everything I do is based on a law telling me what I can and can't do. Thank you so much. I appreciate it more than you know. And that being said, we want to make sure that people that steal money from seniors, that there's serious consequences. And so how can the OAG help you? Well, you're about ready to find out, because David, so there's two Daves here, and we have the same haircuts. So we have the same haircuts. This guy is the man. He is awesome at this. And make sure, if anyone, you may not feel comfortable asking a question in front of everyone else, but when we're done, please, if you have a question, make sure you come up and ask someone. That's why we're here. All right? And I'm going to stick around, obviously, and then when he's finished, I have some parting words of wisdom. So have at it.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Go get him. Thank you.
All right. No pressure, huh? So thank you very much, everybody. It's great to be here today, and thank you for inviting us into the JCC. As the general said, it's very important. The only way we can prevent crime is to inform and educate, and that's the key to this. You know, we can make many investigations, many prosecutions, but we can't get them all, right? So it's best that we educate you on prevention, how not to be a victim. You know, and I'll tell you, I heard that he has his AARP card. Well, I've had mine a little longer. I'm actually in the club, right? So let me ask the audience, at what age does Pennsylvania deem someone an older adult or a senior? What do you think? Anybody? How much? 55? Any other guesses? 62? Anybody else? We're all around it. 65 went too high. 60 on the nose. There you go. We got a winner. You can get yourself a nice prize over at the table later, right? It's not a scam. So 60 is the magic number in Pennsylvania. They consider that an older adult. So I am now over 60, and someone told me that there's new rules when you turn 60. Maybe you folks could advise me on this. Is this true? I was told I have to immediately go out and buy a Buick. I have to have dinner at 4 o'clock, and at the diner I must order tapioca pudding. Is that what's going on? Is that what it is to be a senior today? No, I don't think so, right? Seniors are more active than ever. And that's why it's so important. As the general pointed out, we're going to give you some information at the end here. You can go over to our table and see Nora from our office. She's one of our outreach specialists. Here's the card with all of our important phone numbers and emails. Make sure you grab that. It's got some great tips on the opposite side. Excellent card. And one of the other things that we talked about was financial exploitation. And that's a form of elder abuse and neglect of care. We have brochures on that and a special team that investigates those complaints as well here at the Attorney General's office. So we know Valentine's Day is coming, right? And that begins with the letter V. And the letter V is important today because I have two words that begin with V that I want you to remember. And the first is, what do we want you not to be? That begins with a V. Victim, right? No one wants to be a victim. We don't want you to have that bad experience, and we rather prevent it than have to resolve it. Now, here's the other word. This is what's going to help you not be the victim, and it begins with a V too, and it's verify. If you verify information before you act, you can avoid most of these scam attempts and identity thefts. How's that sound? Right? So as we go through today, you're going to hear me ask you, what's the V word? And when I do that, you're all going to answer out, right? What's the answer? Verify. Very good. Excellent. So let's get into the program. And, you know, there's a lot of scams out there. And the general referred to some of these, the phishing scams, the government imposters. You know, scams that you've heard of. Grandma, I'm in so much trouble. Oh, you got to help me. And before you get a chance to ask any questions, there's someone else picking up the line going, I'm the attorney, right? You might hear about, it's the IRS, and you're in some serious trouble. Well, no one wants to deal with the IRS. You know, as adults, that's the closest thing we know to the boogeyman, right? You don't want that call. And they'll call and say, you missed jury duty. It's the sheriff. We have a warrant to arrest you. They're not going to do that. First off, government's not going to cold call you. You're going to get official documents in the mail. You're not going to get a call. You're not going to get a text. Show of hands, who's got the Easy Pass toll violation text message? Have you gotten that? Even our staff over here has them, right? We all get them. I carry two phones. I get it in stereo. Do not do anything. Do not click on it. Do not take action. They're scams. They're scams. They're looking for you to react. Well, no matter what the story is, and I could go on, there's charity scams, there's business scams, there's a zillion different types of scams. You won the sweepstakes. Here's the framework of almost every scheme. This is what you really need to know. Today's about prevention and what you need to know. It's sudden. It's contact, either by phone, text, email, letter, face-to-face scams like the driveway sealer that the general referred to. They want you to act now. There's a sense of urgency. You got to do it now. That doesn't allow you time to think or to what? Verify, right? And money or information is needed. That resolves whatever this concern is. And sometimes they even tell you, let's keep that a secret. Well, let's think about the first letter of these words. Sudden, contact, act now, money, information, secret. What does it spell? Scams. There's the formula. Now you have it. You have the key to detecting a scam and a fraud attempt. Because if it's sudden contact, telling you to act now, they want that money, they want that information, and especially if it's a secret, it's most likely a scam, right? Now we're going to do a little quiz. Let's see if we were paying attention to Attorney General Sunday, right? Are we ready for a quiz? Okay, this is going to be good. What technology uses the following features? Let's take a look at the screen. It enhances scams. It can correct spelling and grammar, creates reports, scripts, and even articles, like news articles. It copies images and vocal tracks, someone's voice, alters video files, makes voiceovers, and there's one more, it's not even on there, it can actually replicate an entire website and make it look official. Of course, until you click in the cart to make your payment, then the payment goes to the bad guy. What technology is doing all this? What do we know? AI. So you did pay attention. Good group, right? That's awesome. So yeah, it's artificial intelligence, and as the general said, it's a tool. It can be used for good things, aerospace, healthcare, all sorts of stuff. But when it's in the wrong hands, that's when trouble is on your doorstep, because it makes things very believable, difficult to discern. Is it real? Is it not? So real. I'll give you a homework assignment. When you get home, if you have some time and you go online, go to YouTube and type in Morgan Freeman actor AI video. You're going to watch a video of that great actor, Morgan Freeman, who has a really unique voice. Doesn't he have a great voice? I love that voice. I could hear him narrate something for hours. I love it. And you're going to hear him telling you a story. But halfway through the video, the screen splits. It's some other guy with headphones on telling you that story. But it's in Morgan Freeman's voice and his video image, his face. You would swear it's him. And what happens when you get that call? Grandma, I'm in so much trouble. Oh, my gosh, it's Jimmy or it's Susan. It sounds like your child, your grandchild, your niece, your nephew, because they are able to steal the voice. It takes 10 seconds of a voice sample to replicate. Did you know that? Think about 10 seconds. You know, all the young people, the kids, they love to make videos of themselves, TikTok, Instagram. They're on Snapchat stories. They got videos all over the internet, and you can pinpoint that video. And if they didn't turn off GPS tracking in the device that recorded it, you can find the location, even where they recorded that. Maybe their home, their school. And then track that back and find family members. That's how you end up with the call. But it's not your grandson or your granddaughter. It's their voice being misused. Where do we all have a 10-second sample of our own voices in a lot of cases that could be used? Anybody know? Yeah, on your voicemail message, right? Hey, I can't get to the phone right now. Please leave me a message. I'll be glad to call you back. That might be all that it takes for your own voice to be stolen and misused. Now imagine the repercussions. What if it's a government official? What if it's a celebrity? And we've seen these cases. I have numerous romance scams, right? Sweetheart swindles, where the people tell me that the person contacting them was Johnny Depp, George Clooney, Denzel Washington, right? Oh, yeah. I have a woman in my community where I live, Bucks County, who was told that Johnny Depp was interested in making a movie of her life story. She's 83, and she was in community theater her whole life and never really made it big, but loved to act and sing and was very good, evidently. But she's on social media. Her family posted this. The community, the senior community she lives in, does little plays and lets her produce them and act in them, and that sometimes gets uploaded onto the internet. She thought Johnny Depp was going to make a movie, but all she needed to do, what do you think? Send some money so she could be an executive producer and be part of the show. She didn't have the money, but she found it and sent it. And everyone, her neighbors, her friends, her family, the manager of the senior living community, she refused to listen when they advised her that this sounds like a scam. She's now not speaking to any of them and has no money left. So AI can be terrible. It can be terrible. So, folks, right away, when romance becomes finance, that's a scam. And if it's someone, a celebrity, someone well-known, and it's their video or their voice telling you to do something, we're going to use the V, aren't we? What are we going to do? We're going to verify before we act. That's how we save ourselves. Emotional triggers are one of those things that causes us to take action without thinking. There's three basic things that scammers will use to be very effective and successful. One is timing. If I call you up and say I'm the bank and there's a problem in your account, I'm going to call you on a Friday at 4 p.m. What's your opportunity to go to the bank and sort that out? Limited. Very limited, right? You're going to have to wait till the next day maybe. It might be too late. Might be too late. They use psychology. They know how to word things and set up the scene, the story, to get you to feel a certain way, to look at it a certain way, to react a certain way. That's psychology. And the emotional triggers, here's the common emotions that are often being triggered. Love. We just had one. What was the type of scam? What I just talked about. Romance scams, right? Sweetheart swindle, we call it sometimes. So love can be involved, and there's a lot of crossover. They might use multiple emotional triggers. How about grandma, I'm in trouble? Don't we love our grandkids, right? So that could be used. How about finances? Whether it's a great loss of finances, it's the IRS, we're collecting $50,000 today or you're going to jail. Or maybe it's a positive financial gain. What would be that scam? You won the sweepstakes. Hey, it's Publishers Clearinghouse. You're our $1.5 million winner. I tell people all the time, pause and think. Ask yourself one question. Did I enter the contest? You know, you got to be in it to win it, right? That's what they say. So think about that. Here's another one. Joy. Remember, there's crossover. What scams use joy as an emotional trigger? You won a vacation, right? Hey, congratulations, you're going to go on this cruise. Or you won the sweepstakes, right? Or, hey, here's an email coming into your inbox, and it says there's great videos of the grandkids. Watch it now. And you click that link to open that video. Now you got spyware and malware put into your phone, your tablet, your laptop. It's a scam technique using that emotional trigger. Here's another. Fear. Ooh, what kind of scams are fear generating? Somebody's in the hospital, family member, right? If your phone rings, how many people have caller ID? Do you like that feature? Yeah, it's great. You kind of get an idea who might be calling, but do you trust it? You can't, because AI and other programs will allow scammers to alter the name and the number that shows up on your screen on that caller ID. I could put Children's Hospital, and you think, oh, my gosh, one of the grandkids, something happened. I could put Kingston Township Police. I could put, it's the FBI calling. I could just put a city, Washington, D.C., New York. I could put anything on your caller ID, and the call could be on the other side of the planet, but you think it's around the corner when it's a local number. It's same area code, same first 3 digits in the exchange, and then the last 4 are a little different than yours. We call that neighboring when the scammers use that local-looking number to contact you, hoping you're going to answer. So watch out for these emotional triggers. Payment forms. And the boss went over this a little bit. Wire transfer, right? You know, that's when a bank does an electronic exchange to another account. And I had a victim down in Montgomery County and many others. But this one gentleman, he contacted me and he said, you know, hey, I had a problem the other day. I got scammed. I thought it was the bank. My caller ID said it was my bank. And I just spoke to them the other day. So I thought they were calling me back about the problem I complained about. And they told me someone attempted to hack my account. And they set me up with a brand new safe security account. It's a new program from Wells Fargo Security, they told him. And all you had to do is transfer his money. They gave him the code and the account numbers, and it would be safe. Well, yeah, it's safe from him ever spending it. It went to China, $88,000. It's a wire. Wires are also MoneyGram and Western Union transactions that you can do at any grocery store, department store, pharmacy, at the customer service desk. So when you're being told you must wire me money, Attorney General Sunday told you, walk away. Walk away. That's not how you normally pay something, right? And here's another one. Cash apps on your cell phone. Venmo, Zelle, these different branded cash apps. They're great if you know who you're dealing with and that it's a legitimate request. And how would you know if it's a legitimate request? We're going to use the V word. What are we going to do? We're going to verify. We're going to find out, hey, did you just ask me for money? That's not like you. You wouldn't normally do that. And they go, your friend says, well, no, what are you talking about? And you know that's a scam, right? Watch out for these. How about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? How many people are involved in any form of a cryptocurrency? Anybody? And it's okay if you are. You don't have to feel like you don't want to raise your hand. It can be a legitimate investment tool. If you go through a legitimate financial firm, right, a financial advisor, somebody that's legit that you've checked out and you have verified, right? But when someone you do not know is suggesting an investment in crypto, Bitcoin, or telling you have to make a payment in one of these methods, be very cautious. I want to tell you what you need to know about crypto. And I don't have time to get into a full-blown whole discussion because crypto is really kind of complex, to be honest with you. I went to 3 or 4 trainings on this, and I left each one with a splitting headache. And I'll tell you, the key issue is, number one, it is unregulated. There's no one agency or firm or country that has the rules and can enforce the rules. You're on your own. Number two, these transactions can occur from foreign countries in their exchanges and online exchanges that are based out of the U.S., which means we have no legal authority in some of these cases where we can't serve a subpoena. We can't issue a search warrant. That means you're on your own. The transactions can remain anonymous. I don't have to give you my real name to exchange U.S. dollars from your pocket to crypto of any type. Bitcoin is the biggest crypto. It's the #1 brand, so that's one everyone talks about. But it could be any of them. There's like over 1,800 different brands of crypto. Did you know that? Yeah, there's many. They all have funky names, right? But there's a lot. Bitcoin's the big one. And here's the last thing I think is really important. It is not supported by any Federal Reserve, any bank, any gold standard. There's no safety net. If it collapses and goes to zero, you got zero. And it fluctuates. You know, it changes value all day long, every day. At one point, I saw probably about 3 months ago, it was 125,000 for a single Bitcoin. And it went down to like 61. Today, it's at 84,757. I looked it up before I walked in. It can change without notice. And again, if it goes to zero, yep, it's gone. Gift cards. It says in the name what it's for. Is it for a payment? Is it called a payment card? No, what's it called? Gift card. So what's that for? Gifts of someone you know and trust. Not someone asking for you to take a photo of the back of the card after you scratch off the security code and send it to them by text or email. No. No. They don't even have to have the possession of the card. They can electronically drain it. And one of the scams that we see often, especially around the holidays, scammers send people called mules to go into the stores where these are on the rack and steal the blank empty cards, take them back to their secret hideout, and they look at the codes and they copy them all down. Then they recoat that security finish and put them back on the rack. Their computer with AI will check the account every single day, multiple times a day. The minute you go to the register with that card and you put $100 on it, they've drained it. You give it as a gift. Your brother-in-law goes to spend it and calls you up and goes, hey, what was that? I was in line. I had all this stuff. They told me there's no value. There's nothing on it. And if you don't like your brother-in-law, I guess that's okay, but he's not going to be happy. But it's the scammer did it. You didn't do it, right? So we got to watch out for these things. Be careful where you buy your gift cards and who's asking for it. So here's some real good tips. I want you to leave with some great tips today. Number one is just don't answer your phone if you don't know the caller, right? Pretty simple. Pretty simple. But I'm going to give you a 3-step plan that's going to reduce the number of calls that you're taking on your phone. How many people want to reduce the annoying calls that they know aren't for them? Anybody? Nobody, right? Every hand. Somebody had 2 hands up, yeah. Well, here's the 3-step process. It's easy. If you're able to make adjustments in your phone on your own, please do it yourself. And if you're not, find somebody under 14. They'll help you. No problem, right? No, seriously, go to where you bought your phone, and the service people at the provider can assist you. Here's what you're going to do. Ask them to go into your contacts and indicate the top 10 most important people in your phone and make them favorites. Give the favorites a special ringtone that you'll recognize right away. You know, beep, beep, anything, right? Pick one of those ringtones that's annoying, and you'll know, hey, that's somebody important to me. That's an important call. Then you can decide if it's convenient to answer or let it go to voicemail. Step 2 is the easiest. You leave everyone else in your contacts with the standard ring. So when you hear that regular ring, you know it's somebody that you know, but it's not your top 10. Now, here's the best part. Tell the service provider that anyone who's not a contact, an unknown caller, go to silent and immediately shift it over to your voicemail. You no longer will have 88% of those annoying calls coming through your phone. How's that for an easy 3-step plan? We can all do that this afternoon when you leave here. And you've instantly reduced the chance of you saying something you shouldn't, giving out that information that you normally wouldn't because the scammer used those emotional triggers, psychology, and timing. You just prevented it. Clickbait. Everyone know what a link is, right? For example, that Easy Pass text message might say, click below on the button to then rectify the toll, pay the toll, whatever. Don't do that. Don't click it. It might also be blue lettering that's underlined called a hyperlink in an email. You might get an email that says, well, your inbox is full and you're out of storage. So if you click below, we're going to give you a courtesy of free expansion of your storage so you keep all your email messages. Most people would automatically just click that. No, I'm telling you, don't do that. Because if it puts spyware in your device, your cell phone, your tablet, your laptop, they now see everything you do, every site you visit, every password you type, every banking that you do online. You purchase something with an online credit card, they have your account number. That's called spyware, and it's because you clicked a link. So I like the rhyme. I'm like the Dr. Seuss of scams. I always say, think before you link, right? Never provide personal or financial information to someone asking questions. No one from the bank's going to ask you to verify your account number. They have it. Right? Credit card's not going to call you and ask you what the PIN number is on your card. The bank's not going to ask you the security questions unless you've contacted them trying to get information. So right away, think, if your phone's ringing, don't go singing. Don't be sharing information out there. Question those uncommon payment methods we just reviewed, right, just a minute ago. And what are we going to do? The V word? We're going to verify before we comply, and that's going to help keep you away from the scammer. How do we how do we use a trusted source to verify? This is great. This is so easy. Verification can be done through customer service numbers. They're on the back of every credit card and on every bill or statement that you receive. Your TV bill, your cable TV, your cell phone bill, your electric bill, gas bill, water bill. I don't care what it is. You pretty much get a bill or a statement for almost everything today, right? They're going to have that customer service number right there. Use it. What if they say, this is the IRS? This is Social Security calling about your account. Medicare calling to verify that you ordered an $800 back brace. And you go, no, I didn't. Well, we need your account number. Maybe it was a mistake on our end. No, that's a scam. Do not give out any of that information. And if you need to call that office, that agency, Brenda can help you at her office. Call your state legislator. Call the state senator's office. Call the U.S. Congress representative. It's a federal agency on the phone, Social Security, IRS, FBI. No one's going to call you from the government like that. Get the real number from a trusted source. And, of course, the Office of Attorney General, we're a trusted source. And local nonprofits like AARP is a great partner of ours. They can assist you with some of these things, too. They have it listed on their website. But, you know, at any time, you can call the Office of Attorney General. We have an outstanding constituent services department. The guys and gals there do a fantastic job. And, again, don't forget, we have their numbers right here for you to call different parts of the office. These are the top 3 numbers for seniors, and the white book has all of our numbers in it. And it's a live person you're going to get to talk to right in Pennsylvania. How's that sound? Yeah, isn't that nice, right? And they're going to treat you well, I promise. And if not, you let me know. Next up, here's the resources from AARP Senior Planet. They have a new website called Senior Planet, and they have all sorts of great stuff. Classes you can take online, articles, tech tip videos, right? Learn about technology. There's a glossary, games, quizzes, all sorts of personalized help. Contact AARP and tap into those resources. It's for everyone, no matter how old or young that you are. And of course, report, report, report. Don't be embarrassed. You've done nothing wrong, right? Everyone is a potential victim of a scam, and you're one click away, one answering of a phone call away, one step away from opening your door to a stranger and becoming a victim. Don't be embarrassed. Report. We want to hear about it. Your local PD needs to know about it. Our wonderful partners at the state police would like to know about it. And if it's over the internet, the FBI has it set up with ic3.gov website. They'll take your report, and so will the Federal Trade Commission at ftc.gov. But don't forget to use our complaint form. We want you on board with us, and this is how you report to the Office of Attorney General. So if it's a scam, but you didn't lose any money, you just want to make sure that we know about it, you don't need to fill out that whole complaint form. You can email scams@attorneygeneral.gov and just give us a little narrative, quick story. No problem. But if you have lost money, even $1, I want you to get the scam complaint form. You can do it online, or you can call, and we will mail a printed hard copy to your home address. No problem. And the reason we need that report, if you've lost $1, is the Scam Squad. You heard Attorney General Sunday talk about that new unit, the Scam Squad. They work very hard to try and restore your money. They are not focused on making an arrest and a prosecution. They're focused on your money. We were very successful. The very first year that group was put together, they returned over $1.3 million to Pennsylvania victims. How's that sound? I can't guarantee you're going to get money. Can't guarantee how much it might be. Well, I will guarantee this. If you don't fill out the complaint form, we can't help you at all. So do that. Please do that. Let us know what's going on. And you can sign up for our scam alerts. You can use the QR codes. If you want to take a moment and take a photo of the screen, you may do that. Or simply go to attorneygeneral.gov. Check out the website. And if you don't have that available, call our toll-free number, Consumer Protection, Senior Protection, any of our groups, and we will make sure you're added to the tips. With that, I hope that you've learned something valuable today. Thank you for coming out in this cold weather. And now it's my pleasure once again to bring up your Attorney General, Dave Sunday. General?
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Again, thank you, everybody, for coming out. I hope that you listened to everything that David shared with you today. Make sure that you get the information we have so that you know who to call and who to get a hold of if this does happen to you. And remember, you don't have to move fast when someone's calling you. You can take your time, take a step back. You can process it. Don't be afraid to be mean and hang up and not even answer the phone. Let it go to voicemail. God bless all of you. Thank you for being here. And hopefully none of you will have to call us. All right? Thank you so much. Appreciate it.